What's going on, guys? Aarava here, and welcome back to a brand new video today, and welcome to some F1 2017 gameplay, some HD gameplay, some direct capture gameplay. Finally, 50% race around the Japanese Grand Prix. It's going to be driven by David Greco, who, if you don't know, is the main handling guy over at Codemasters. They've sent over this effectively B-roll footage of David recording this race for us, so thank you to David, and thank you to Codemasters for emailing that over. David's decided to choose Jolyon Palmer as a bit of a lull in the Renault car around Suzuka, but as I mentioned, it's going to be a 50% race. You're about to see on screen the settings he's going to run. He's chosen for dry weather, a bit of a changeable in terms of from light cloud to fully clear around Suzuka, and then the AI is going to be the full maximum ultimate AI. You're going to see the brand new slider that's in the game now, and it goes from 0 to 110. He's going to slide it all the way over to the right. Ultimate AI, of course, as I mentioned, David is the main handling guy for the game, so he's pretty damn good against the AI. So you're going to see a fully, probably the best gameplay so far ever in the world right now in terms of a good idea of what the AI are like, what the Renault is going to be like versus the ultimate AI driven by a very skilled driver. David, if you watch kind of, sim racing, anything like that, you'll probably have heard of David Greco's name before in there. He did the Formula E Vegas E-race as well, so, there's no kind of questioning his credentials doing this gameplay. So again, thank you to him for recording the video and for Codemasters for sending it over. But yeah, I mean, pretty much as it says on the tin, it's going to be a 50% race around the Japanese Grand Prix. I'm basically going to be showing most of this race in all its raw glory, so throughout the video I'm going to be kind of coming in to kind of talk about it a little bit and my thoughts on it after watching it along with you guys, and then for some parts I'll just stop talking, let you guys watch it whilst there's maybe some overtaking happening, and just so you can see how the car's handling, how it all sounds, how it all looks basically, and that'll just happen throughout the video. So let's just look at the intro and then get into it.
Situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and starting alongside in P2 is Sebastian Vettel. Looking down the rest of the grid we have Bottas, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo, and Raikkonen, Massa, Hülkenberg, Perez, and Daniel Kvyat. Stroll, Sainz, Fernando Alonso, and Magnussen, Ocon, Grosjean, Pascal Wehrlein, and Stoffel van Dorn. Palmer and Marcus Ericsson rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So it's time to get into the actual race. You can see the race strategy today we're going to go for with David, and the Renault is going to be looking like on the medium tyres. Obviously, he's starting from the back here, so mediums for the first stint, and then onto a set of soft tyres. But all dry for the start. Let's get into it to 5 red lights. So a pretty decent start there then, from last place to 17th place. You saw a little bit of avoiding action had to be taken into turn 1, with the AI going a little bit slow into turn 1, but you could see as you went into it, the clear change to Suzuka now. Really, really great finally to show you guys the new layout of this circuit, and it literally feels so different through the S section. It's literally a different circuit. It feels orgasmic almost, in my opinion, from what I remember from testing there, from testing the track. And then you also saw the move on Verline wasn't exactly as easy as it may have seemed in the past. You know, it wasn't a simple dive down the inside. It was a bit of jockeying for position on the exit, and then as we go down into turn 1, obviously against the McLaren Honda, a pretty easy move even for the Renault car. But you can see Alonso does start to come back in the mirrors there. So the AI definitely a little bit more punchy, and David's having to think a little bit more, calculate about his move, giving the room and the space, and also obviously naturally with the wider cars you have to do that anyway because the circuits obviously don't change because of the cars. But yeah, you can see flowing through here, just so much more undulation in Sector 1. It's just great. Right, so we cut a little bit ahead on that previous lap just to catch up to this fight, and we had a little good bit of a view of Ocon v Grosjean, I think it was, in the Haas car there, going side by side through that final chicane at Japan. So good to see the AI kind of going for overtakes themselves. And then pretty much from here on, you're actually going to see quite nicely and realistically, I guess you could say, it takes a little bit of time for Greco to basically catch up to Ocon in the Renault car versus the Force India. Obviously, Ocon a little bit out of position here, down in P15. The Force India generally you would think would be in the top 10, as well as maybe Grosjean as well. So it takes him a little bit of time to actually catch up, which is obviously a good thing. You don't want him to like speed away. So a bit of a wild incident there between Esteban Ocon and what looked like Sebastian Vettel's Ferrari, I think that was. So Vettel having some sort of issue, gone off on the right-hand side there. So good to see a top driver potentially able to make a mistake like that, go down the order and have a crash then with a lower car. So picks up 2 positions, we're up into P14 now. So lap 5 up to P14 in a Renault car, Palmer's to be exact, from last place. Pretty damn good progress at the moment. You can see we've now caught up to a little train that's on the tail end with Carlos Sainz there into the hairpin. And then just again, just showing as we go through Spoon, all of this has been all redone. You can just see way more tilted in camber of the actual circuit itself, way more banked, that's the word I'm looking for, way more banked through all these corners. Spoon, especially the hairpin, just feels so much more better, and just the undulations just so much more flowing around this circuit. So now hopefully we'll catch up to this train. We can see it's about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cars, I think that is. I mean, we don't have a mini map here in cockpit view, but I think it's about 6 cars there. It looks like Carlos Sainz may go for a move, so we may be able to do something into turn 1 then. Let's see what David does. So we've jumped a little bit further ahead in the race, a few laps to lap 13. You can see we're still chasing after Carlos Sainz into turn 1. We're up into P11 because obviously by this point we've got people like Felipe Massa. You can see clearly on super softs they've already made their first kind of pit stop phase. Obviously you saw Vettel after his incident with Ocon was still actually trundling round. Actually was good to see, and I don't know, quite realistic. I mean, Silverstone, oi oi, little puncher there for Vettel maybe. So having issues, having to trundle around to get back to his box. So that was the kind of aftermath there. You can see all 20 still in the race. So Ocon also technically probably also made it round maybe with just the front wing off. But yeah, I mean, through from the previous lap all the way to lap 13, Greco just pushing hard to try and catch up to Sainz, and good to see, you know, I guess it would be a very good thing to see that in a Renault he's unable to really rapidly catch up to a Toro Rosso car, which obviously throughout the course of the season has been, I guess you could say, just about fast. I mean, in the last few rounds the Renaults look pretty damn decent. But obviously, if you count back to the last race, Hungary, the Toro Rosso in the hands of Sainz definitely looked a little bit nippier than the Renault car. But yeah, I mean, we're going to just continue on, and just if there are any kind of any AI battles, then I definitely will show it. But I mean, I don't think, in my opinion at least, I don't know how interesting it will be just to watch the car go round. I mean, if that is something you guys are interested in, then do let me know in the comments below. I'm happy just to upload the raw gameplay, but I just felt like that was a little bit low effort on my part just to upload it raw, because you know, it's just a bit So I thought I'd just kind of give a few bit of my thoughts from just watching the video myself, because obviously this is the first time I'm watching it as well. So actually, we may actually have DRS on Sainz here, so hang on, I could actually be commentating an overtake now. I haven't commentated an overtake so far in this video. He goes down the inside. It's a lovely little move there, actually. Forces Sainz wide a little bit. Nice stuff there, Greco. Nice stuff. So DRS move down the inside, though. I have to do it on the braking. Okay. Got a little bit interesting. That's the first overtake move I actually commentated on in this video. Decent. Right, let's move on and see if we can maybe catch up to the second Toro Rosso of the afternoon, Danica Fiat. Right, so before we had a chance to catch up to Kvyat, we had to make the pit stop, our one and only of the afternoon, onto the set of soft tyres now. We've only got, how many is that, 10 laps left? No, 11 laps left, including this one, left in the race. But you would have seen, eagle-eyed viewers, if you were watching the bottom right, as we pulled into the pit box, we had the new manual, quote-unquote, system where, essentially, you know, like the race start, you have to pull in the clutch to actually get away under 5 red lights. It's the same sort of system now to try and gauge your exit from the pit, from the pit box. So as you leave, as the light goes green, you now see in most Formula 1 teams now in the 2017 season, all of them have a light system where it goes green to let the driver know it's time to go, instead of actually someone physically being there to say go. So now you have to try and react to that in the pit stop. I believe that you can turn that system off if you don't want it, but you know, obviously for the sake of a bit more immersion and something to do in the pit stop, in the actual, you know, when you make the pit stop, you now have to release the clutch at the correct time when the light goes green, and then you can try and get a little bit of a jump. And if you are delayed on it, you will get a delayed exit from the pit box. And now we've got a yellow flag now. Car is out there on the right hand side, so we're going to gain one more position up into 13th place. That is the first retirement of the actual race now. We're down to P19 runners instead of the 20. We're ahead of Pasco Verline, still behind Kvyat, so he's hoping with 11 laps to go we can maybe try and do some bits and try and catch up to the Toro Rosso, maybe have another last overtake before the end of the race. Right, so we cut away 3 laps now. We're on to lap 20, still in the P11 ahead of Carlos Sainz, in between Danica Fiat. We're about to have a bit of an interesting situation up ahead, but all this time, those 3 laps, Sainz keeping us honest, under braking especially, noticing the Toro Rosso closing up, actually, you would have seen just as we cut away from the footage. But now up ahead, we've got issues, yellow flag, and it's going to be Stoffel Van Dorn with, he's on the medium tyres. I'm not too sure. It looked like maybe a puncher, or you never know. Maybe, I don't know, maybe that could have been an engine failure. I mean, you can never rule that out with the McLaren Honda, but Van Dorn with issues now, so we're up the order. I think he was already in trouble anyway, so I think he was lapped. So I think we're still in P11 technically. That wasn't really a good position gain, but at least another car on track to kind of overtake. But you can see this entire time through the S section, especially now, Sainz able to keep up with us. You can see the mirrors. He's getting so much closer than he was on the main straight just a few, literally half a minute ago. In the mirrors, you can see he's darting around left to right. He's actually closing up here a little bit. So in Sector 1, the Toro Rosso probably does have a little bit better maybe grip and downforce, mechanical grip potentially. So good to see that he's catching up to us. But at the same time, we're also catching Danica Fiat. So this may get a little bit interesting towards the end of this race, hopefully. Let's see. So lovely bit of action there with Carlos Sainz after a little bit of mistake in the second sector. You can see he got gravel on the tyre, and it wasn't an instant case of obviously we can just carry on. There was a little bit of lag time you saw into the hairpin then where we had to get some composure back, wait for the tyre to actually come back, get the gravel off the actual surface of the tyre before we got the maximum grip. And Sainz had to go for it, obviously down the inside, tried to battle us side by side, eventually able to keep the position back, even though down the main straight tried the pop again towards 130R. But yeah, nice to see a little bit of AI battling there, and obviously punished for making a mistake very much like the 2017 season. And yeah, finally Greco, the alien, made a mistake there. I mean, he's been running a pretty perfect race so far, you must say, in a Renault car. So nice to see that he is able to make a mistake there. I don't know if he's watching or not, but if you are, well, nice to see that you could make a mistake there, mate. And now we'll see how we go on for the remaining 4 laps.
A great win then for the Mercedes team today. So, Ant, how exactly did they set themselves apart from the pack today?
The difference was clearly in the strategy. You could tell they'd done a lot of work on the pit wall to really optimise each stint and get the most out of the tyres. And it highlights just how much of a team sport this really is. But credit to the driver as well, though. There's no good having a well-oiled machine behind the scenes without a talented hand on the wheel, of course.
And here are our podium drivers today after that excellent race. They've excelled here, as they so often do, and it's a well-deserved victory. Mercedes, then, are on top today.
So pretty much kept quiet for that entire time for the rest of the gameplay, really, till the end of the race. We saw Sainz closing up a little bit. There was definitely some defending having to be done to actually keep that position. In the end, P11 in Jolyon Palmer's Renault from last place. Pretty damn decent job in a Renault against Ultimate AI, maximum potential AI. No assists, obviously. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's tricky in this video to really honestly talk fully about the gameplay you just watched, because obviously I can't tell what it felt like as I was racing. But in terms of the visual aid to see what the game's like, looking very sweet. The game looks nice and polished compared to some of the preview gameplay we've seen knocking about. I think this is definitely a build that's towards the end of the final build, more towards the final build, I think I'll say. But yeah, I mean, good to see that the AI did try to punish you when you did make a mistake, and Greco looked pretty much on it the entire time, you know, trying to push as he could to catch up to the AI cars. So it looks like it's going to be a good challenge this year if you do go for the full 110%, I guess you could say, ultimate AI. But yeah, guys, if you have enjoyed the video, hit the like button. Let me know what you thought of any of that you saw today. Obviously, the first time we've seen some proper HD 1080p 60 FPS gameplay, direct capture from F1 2017 on what looks to be a build very close to the finished product. So really awesome. So once again, thanks to David Greco and Codemasters for sending over the footage. Really do appreciate it. I'm sure you guys will as well. So do let them know and thank them in the comments below as well. If you're new around it, then do get subscribed for weekly F1 content. I've been Aarava. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you guys next time.